So we first decided to go on this trip in towards the end of October, and that was helped when we went to the Power Shift conference in Washington, D.C. on the first weekend in November.
I don't know, we have this environmental studies department where you learn about humans' impact on the environment, but you don't actually see it. And you can't really comprehend, like, what it means to have, mountaintop removal or open pit mines or, factories that produce, horrific amounts of waste until you actually go and see it and experience it yourself.
We decided to go on the coal trip partly because we were all interested in energy and also because we knew that Oberlin had a large stake in a coal-fired power plant.
I didn't realize that coal is 50% of America's energy, and it was never an issue before.
I guess we tried to investigate anybody that had any relation to coal.
So we spoke to miners, we spoke to mining executives, we spoke to coal processing executives, we spoke to coal lobbyists, we spoke to anti-coal lobbyists, we spoke to activists, environmental activists, as well as pro-coal activists. We spoke to the people on the health side, so we went to a black lung clinic.
That's, everyone in Appalachia. Because we're crazy.
A big part of the trip was traveling. We were always in the car. We always kind of had to get up early to go somewhere. The first day we got up before 6 o'clock and got to drive across the back roads of Ohio and see the sunrise, and that was all pretty cool.
So the first thing that we did on the trip was go to the underground mine in Hopedale, Ohio. And we all agreed that that's a really good way to start out the trip.
The first thing they said to us, or their manager said to us, was we could fight for oil in Iraq or we could mine coal in America. Those were kind of our two options for energy.
The impression I got was very removed from this trip when we were looking at the coal industry, and it was more just like meeting a neighbor.
They didn't choose to be in the coal industry because they were in love with coal. They chose to do it because that's what's out there and that's how they're going to get an income and survive. One day in Washington, D.C., we met with a major coal lobbying firm, and we were sitting around a table, and he was talking to us about coal and why it's good and why it's important to our industry. And he brought out one of the books that they've been working on, and it had a giant piece of coal and an electrical cord going into it, symbolizing America's energy use, and that's where we get our energy.
They were immensely proud of that.
All of our meetings with the lobbyists I'd characterize as sort of they were just doing their jobs. I mean, it was very marketing ploy type of attitude. They had gimmicks and slogans. They were into the propaganda.
We're seeing, these lawyers who proud to admit that they had secured $7 billion in subsidies for their industry. It's, kind of the underhanded dealings that you don't think about when you see the Washington Monument.